purpose of our mission was to discover the similarities and differences between Earth and Mars.
As well, we are on a mission to send a probe to Phobos, one of Mars's moons, in order to gather more information.
I went to Mars to take the places of mission control who have already been there for 2 years.
I was on the remote team, and basically what my team had to do was we got rocks and soils from Earth and we got rocks and soils from Mars, and we studied both and we compared them.
I kept communication between the spacecraft and mission control, which was a very important task.
Being on the life support team, I had to create and sustain a safe environment in order to keep everyone alive.
I received and delivered messages from the crew on mission control.
I had to sustain the humidity, oxygen levels, and atmospheric pressure within the spacecraft, as well as identify seeds and foods to eat and determine safe water.
I had to get soils and rocks from Earth and Mars, and I compared both to see how Earth and Mars were similar and different from each other.
There was a dust storm which caused our mic to smoke up, so we lost all communications between the spacecraft and mission control.
We needed to make a decision whether or not to replace the battery that broke with the probe battery. It was either to lose all communication or jeopardize our entire probe mission to Phobos.
So the crew ended up voting to replace the battery with the probe's battery because we all found that the communication was a necessity that needed to be restored.
As well, my partner on the life support team, Kaylee, had radiation poisoning. Thankfully, the medical team were able to restore her to full health.
There was also a solar flare which changed our plans in the last minute.
We ended up speeding up the launch time, and we launched the spacecraft very quickly before the solar flare could hit.
Definitely, I had to run around making sure the environment was okay and to resolve any problems. It was extremely difficult, especially when Kaylee wasn't around because I had to do multiple jobs at once.
Lack of communication during the dust storm was very difficult to get there because mission control and the spacecraft had very important messages that need to get through.
To be honest, being on the remote team didn't give me as much of a stress level as some of the other teams had because my team really didn't contribute to communication with the other teams. Mine was just more learning more about Mars and Earth, but I did try to help out the communication teams and other teams and try to calm their stress a little bit. Being on this mission was such an incredible experience. It let me learn more about the similarities and differences between Earth and Mars and learn more about Mars' surface as well as Earth's.
Also, I learned what was needed to keep people alive as well as the complications and difficulties of space travel.
I learned how to cope with intense pressure and looked at problems from a new perspective.